Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture. He's Phil Chambers from WhatCulture. Extreme Rules 2021 has just finished, or should I say Extreme Rule, because there was only one match for the Extreme Rules stipulation, but still, it's just finished and we are here to tell you what went down. And I suppose what went down is Finn Balor from the top rope, Phil Chambers.
Yeah, a really weird finish to the main event, but we had some, a big return in the midst of this show as well. A couple of good matches and one absolutely hilarious match.
Oh.
But we'll get to it all.
Yes, let's start at the beginning of the show. Let's start on the match that got hoyed onto the kickoff rather unfairly on Liv Morgan and Carmella to fit the trios match that we were going to get because the New Day effectively got jumped by Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles and Omos on the kickoff show. So Carmella and Liv Morgan, they were on the kickoff show, and Liv Morgan, unsurprisingly, defeated Carmella with her finisher after some more no stuff.
Yeah, pretty much what you'd expect from these two. It was a decent, solid match, just a bit of a shame that it got bumped onto the kickoff, really.
Yeah, I feel a bit bad for them for that. But let's talk about the opener on the main card. It was the New Day versus Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles and Omos. And give them plenty of time, this.
Loads of time. It was like half past the hour when they finished this match. I think it went about 20 minutes.
Like itself. A Raw main event or something.
Yeah, but it was really, really good fun. It was obviously the New Day, AJ Styles and Omos, and Bobby Lashley, and of course it was going to be really good fun with all the stories that go in there.
Monster.
Yeah, they had loads of false finishes as it got towards the end, and it just was mixing up and all over the place. And Big E was hoiking Kofi Kingston over the top rope out to hit Bobby Lashley, but then Omos was there to just punch him in the face as it ended. It was all really, really good fun stuff. But it all came down to the end, and it was Big E and Bobby Lashley going one-on-one against each other, but then AJ Styles had to tag himself in, blind tag on Bobby Lashley, who was not happy about this, and he went in for the phenomenal forearm. He missed it, obviously, and then in the kerfuffle, Bobby Lashley managed to tag himself back in, but sort of as he was going in to attack Big E, he took out AJ Styles instead, and then Big E grabbed him into the big ending, dropped him down for the 1, 2, 3, and Big E, your WWE champion, pins Bobby Lashley.
And they are going to face off again tonight on Monday Night Raw for the WWE Championship. They set that up throughout the pay-per-view. Really excited to see that. Proper one-on-one match for the WWE Championship. But yes, that he hastily put together team just simply couldn't coexist. Let's talk about the tag team title match that followed. It was the SmackDown tag titles on the line, the Usos versus the Street Profits. And Phil, you and I sort of called to finish this very early on when Montez Ford, after what happened on SmackDown with the Usos and Roman Reigns, the bloodline basically. After that, Montez Ford came out with his ribs taped up, and we knew that was going to play into the finish.
Yep, always was going to play in, and he did go up for the big frog splash, and Jey Uso got him up, got the knees up again, constantly hitting those ribs, to the point that when it did get to the point when Montez Ford was going to win the match and he went in for the frog splash, he hit it, but he couldn't get the pin from it because of those ribs were hurting so much, which obviously let the Usos get the upper hand.
Double super kick, have some of that.
Double super kick, and then the double splash from each corner as well for the Usos to get the win and remain tag team champions.
Yes, good stuff that. Really enjoyable match, but exactly what you'd expect when these four men get in a ring together. We didn't really know what to expect with what came next, though. It was Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. Are we going to get spooky bollocks? No! Well, not until post-match when Alexa Bliss has some sort of Alka-Seltzer in her mouth. Charlotte Flair. I mean, it was really good because it's Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and if you take all the doll bollocks out of it, they're great together.
Yep.
But the finish, you got to bring all that doll bollocks back in. I've got to say and stop saying the word doll bollocks before I give WWE an idea. It's back and forth between these two. They're, very closely matched, understandably. They're both multiple-time women's champions. So Charlotte Flair thinks, oh no, I can get the upper edge here, and throws Lily the doll at Alexa Bliss, allowing her to, distract Alexa or... who cares? She got a big boot, natural selection, 1, 2, 3, but that isn't the half of it, Phil Chambers, because after that, Charlotte Flair ripped Lily to pieces. All the stuffing was spilled out across the ring. There was just an empty doll's face, basically. That was all that was left. Crowd were not happy. Of course, hometown favourite Alexa Bliss losing. That never happens in WWE.
Never.
And, post-match, Charlotte's taunting the crowd. And then Alexa tries to sort of fight back, and then Charlotte just hands her ass a second time, and then Alexa has pitches a fit, and then fizzes and foams at the mouth with a Alka-Seltzer. I don't know what was going on here, mate.
Yeah, she kind of disappeared under a table for a while and then came back out. And then I guess maybe because Lily had all her stuffing ripped out, it was like Alexa Bliss's stuffing was coming out of her own mouth. I don't know. It was supposed to be like white goo, like the black goo that she's done before, but it wasn't quite foaming properly. And when she opened her mouth once, like you could see the little tablet.
I needed a palate cleanser after that finish, but not like that.
Yeah, it was all a bit weird, and I guess we're going to get follow-up of it. But Lily's dead. R.I.P. Lily. Just the picture of her holding this weird limp doll face was hilarious in itself. But anyway, that was that, and we move on to what was probably the best match of the night for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, like, we're going to start, I'll caveat this, because it's going to sound like we're having a go. We think all three men in this are incredibly talented.
Yeah.
And there was a few bits throughout this entire night where there was just miscommunications or just a slight incident. I don't want to laugh about someone falling off the ring apron, because I've never wrestled, so how can I judge it all? But Damian Priest reversing the 10 beats of the Baron or whatever it's called, and then just slipping off the apron and doing effectively the Shawn Michaels no fall as he does it was great. But that is nothing compared to the tour de force that was Sheamus on the top rope. We all think here at WhatCulture that Sheamus is one of the most underrated wrestlers in all of WWE. He's so talented. He always goes out and performs. And he clearly went out in this match and went, it's a triple threat for the United States Championship. Everyone kind of knows Damian Priest is going to retain. How do we add a little bit of, and it's going to end in a schoolboy roll-up pin. How do we add a bit of banter? Well, how about I go to the top rope and do this? And then land a knee on Damian Priest.
It was the best. It was one of those matches where nothing quite went right.
No.
There was lots of little mistakes, and it all just kind of boiled down to a bit of nonsense. They salvaged it by the end.
Yeah.
Like, the finish sequence, they definitely salvaged it for that. But this was very much just Sheamus like, what else can go wrong? Let's have a bit of a laugh and pretend to be Jeff Hardy on the top rope. It was genuinely my favourite thing of the night, and one of my favourite things in wrestling this year.
Yeah, I realise this is a microcosm of this entire show. People are going to be in the comments going, why aren't you saying how terrible this show was? We had a great time.
We did have a great time.
It's one of those things, again, I get it. If you're analysing it for that, then I can understand saying that there was miscommunication and issues there, but...
Yeah, don't get
the moment he did this,
it was not a good match.
I went 5 stars straight away, so that's my ratings. Right, let's move on to the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, which was brilliant, but did go to a DQ, but I'll allow it again.
Yes, because of what will come from this. Now, the match itself was really, really good. Obviously, it's Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. Of course, it's going to be really good, but we can't really talk about the match because that's not the talking point behind this. No. Because right at the end of it, just as Bianca Belair seemingly had the match a bit won, in comes returning Sasha Banks, and she takes them both out. She goes after both of them. She goes after Bianca Belair first, takes her out, and then she goes after Becky Lynch as well. And I mean, this is just one of those moments where you just think of what is going to come out of this, whether that's the triple threat match between those three, which will be fire, and then Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks, which will also be fire. Like, this leaves a lot of room for amazing things to come down the line. And as much as you kind of want the clean finish in there, you can see where WWE are going with this.
Yes. This is going to be a repeat of what I said at SummerSlam, which riled a lot of people up, which is, I'll allow it because I want to see what they do on Friday. If they bug it up on Friday, then I'll come back and amend my decision on this match. Look, like you say, it was a great match. It's Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. It's the match we wanted to get at SummerSlam. I thought it really lived up to that, and the back and forth that we got, and just so many examples of Bianca Belair defying logic in terms of her brute strength. Incredible performance from her. Like you say, it looks like she's finally got the match won. She's fought out of a disarmer. She's powered out of a load of stuff. And she's got Becky Lynch up for the KOD. In comes Sasha Banks, though. And I know, DQ finish. But, like you say, what potential we've got here. And Lord knows what's going to happen next with this. You've got, the Saudi show. I've never know how this is going to work with women wrestling over there.
Yeah.
You've got Survivor Series. As of right now, we're getting Becky versus Charlotte if we're doing Grand Warfare stuff. But then what's going to happen with the... Like, I know it's a DQ finish, after a match that went, 17 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what happens next. So, damn you, but I'll allow it, WWE.
You get a pass.
Yeah, let's get to the main event then. Roman Reigns versus the Demon Finn Balor. The Demon Finn Balor coming out last after Roman Reigns, who is, of course, the Universal Champion. And Phil, he's got a black tongue.
He does have a black tongue, as Pat McAfee was so excitedly pointing out. But this is one of those matches where you're going in and you're like, Demon's still undefeated on the main roster. How are they going to get out of this? Is there going to be some kind of Brock Lesnar interference? But then, like, what's he going to do? Like, he can't take out both of them because this is the only Extreme Rules match on the show.
Yeah.
They had a triple threat match, and there's no disqualification in triple threat matches, like they always say, and they did nothing with that on Extreme
Please
Rules.
give us tables.
So yeah, the crowd were desperate for tables at this match, and they got tables. They got plenty of tables, and the match itself was good fun. They wrestled all over the place. They went to the pre-show kickoff panel table where Balor did like a dive off the table to put Roman Reigns through another table on the outside, and then they were battling all over the place, and there was kendo sticks, and Finn Balor had this weird massive kendo stick that was like 3 or 4 kendo sticks taped together kind of thing. But obviously, as Finn Balor had the upper hand, in comes the Usos at the end to take over, and they wrestled him on the outside, and then Finn Balor managed to get in control of them as well, and he put one of them through the commentary table, and then there was another table on the outside, and he kicked Roman Reigns through that table.
Yeah, after he had been speared through the barricade by Roman Reigns.
That's the point. He got speared through the barricade, and then it all kind of kicked off.
Goes red.
It all went a little bit weird.
Finn Balor becomes the demon fish out of water.
On the heartbeat of the demon's music, he just kind of palpated a little
Then his
bit.
music just started playing.
To the point when his music started rocking out, he just got up and went mental. He got a chair.
It was great,
Whipping
that.
Roman Reigns all over the place. That's when he kicked him through the table on the outside, and he rolled him into the ring to get to the finish. He went up to the top for the coup de grace. He started standing up on the top ropes, and then all of a sudden,
Jeez.
the ropes collapsed.
Oh my God.
And Finn Balor falls to the floor in what must have been one of the scariest bumps he could possibly take.
I don't care what you think about how it was, and there's a mixed reaction is the best way of putting it on the comments. That is a rough
100%.
old bump.
That is a very rough bump. And he falls down into the ring, and as he gets up, he gets speared by Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3. That's your finish. So they painted themselves into a corner here where they were like, oh, how do we get out of this and protect the demon? And they chose either the ropes fail, or some people in the chat were like, oh, did Paul Heyman cut the ropes maybe?
Or the Fiend.
Which would be interesting. Or the Fiend. So yeah, it all went a bit red light, weird, spoopy bollocks. And then the bump, like just standing on that rope as they collapse, and you don't know where you're going to end up. That bump must have been so
He was
scary.
selling his knee, wasn't he?
For that bump, man.
He's selling his knee, and obviously that's going to factor into the
Yeah.
finish. But I was also you might not need to sell that too much, because that is just a fair play, like you say, to Finn Balor. I can understand people being furious about that finish, and obviously the demon finally losing, and Reigns sort of asking what's happened and looking up on high for
God wanted me to win.
Yeah.
I give them points for
And no
creativity.
Brock Lesnar.
No Brock Lesnar at all. Like, I give them points for creativity. I'd never seen that before.
No.
Ever.
But
Whether I wanted to see that is another matter.
Yes, it's going to be very intriguing how they sell this going forward, and obviously what on earth happens next for Roman. Well, we know what's happening with him, Brock and Crown Jewel on end of October, basically. And I suppose we're just going to draft what if they draft the Demon but not Finn Balor?
Maybe.
Just a thought. But yeah, divisive. I'm going to say divisive.
Divisive's a good word.
A divisive ending to this show.
Genuinely don't know how I feel about it yet.
Which was a bit all over the place. I think I sense this is going to be one of those shows where everyone in the comments are going to say this is one of the worst pay-per-views ever. This is the worst show of the year, for example. Yeah. But again, apologies. We just had a really good time, and Sheamus went like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, objectively, it was not a good show.
No.
But we were entertained.
Yes, and that is it. The point? I don't know. Let us know in the comments, and let us know your thoughts on the whole of whatever the hell that was. Extreme Rule. in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Of course, a more detailed review of myself and Michael Hamler coming out very soon. Plus, let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions for the news in the morning on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Actually, there you can follow both of us. You can follow Phil Chambers at
Phil My Chambers, and you can follow Adam Wilborn at
Adam Wilborn. Follow us all, as I said, at WhatCultureWWE. But this has been Extreme Rule 2021. What went down? My thanks to Phil Chambers. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.